This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, I repeat. So in the last session, we have started with the internal tables, and in that we discussed about how to work with the internal tables with the default header, without header. If it is without header, we need to take a explicit work area to process your internal table, and we discussed some statements related to the internal table like append statement, loop, describe, okay, clear, refresh, freeze statement, append lines, all those things. Okay, so any questions related to the last session? Right, so let's continue then. Yeah. What is the last example? Z830 program 26. So what is the standard way of declaring the internal table? First we have to analyze the fields that we need to declare. So we created what? Types structure with the required fields. Types structure with the required fields. And then based on the type structure, we created two internal tables. One is with the default header, another is without header. In case of internal table with a default header, what we are doing, we are assigning the data to the header. From header, we are appending it to the body. Append statement will always copy the data to the end of the internal table. And like this, we have appended few records. And for another internal table, which is without default header, we took a separate work area. Okay, we took a separate work area to process that particular internal table. So I took a separate work area and I'm looping that internal table data into the explicit work area. Okay, so in continuation to this, let us see the other statements. Yeah, 27. I'll provide some title. Type of program is executable. So here also, I want to create an internal table with the three columns, three fields like employee number, employee name, designation. So what is the first step you have to do? We have to create the type structure with the required fields. So I'm creating the type structure with the required fields. Employee name of 20, type C, and employee designation of 25, type C. Okay, so based on this structure, based on this template, let us create what? Internal tables. I'll try to create two internal tables. It is always recommended to create the internal table without header. Okay, so because with header is not supported in some areas of object oriented. So always it is recommended to go for what? Internal table without default header. Okay, so I'll declare the internal table. Actually, one more thing I forgot last class. Internal tables are classified into two types. One is indexed internal table, another is non-indexed internal table. Again, indexed internal table is classified into two types. One is standard, another is sorted. And under non-index, we have what? Hashed internal table. So if you see this slide, yeah. So if you see the classification of internal table, we have indexed and what? Non-index. Again, index, we have two types, standard, sorted, and hashed. What is the difference? We'll understand in the next 2-3 sessions. But as of now, this is the classification. And what is the default internal table type? Standard. In the last session, we created some two internal tables. I have not specified whether it is standard or sorted or hashed. If you don't specify anything, by default it will consider what standard internal table. So here what I'll do is, based on this structure, I'll try to create an internal table. So I'll say data, try to understand data t underscore emp1 type what, standard table of ty underscore emp. Okay, so even if I don't use a standard keyword, it is considered what, standard internal table. By default the internal table type is what, standard. So whether we mention or don't mention, not a problem. So I can say like this, standard table of ty underscore emp. Okay, I can say like this. Anyhow, instead of doing like this, I'll just comment. I'll say data t underscore emp1 type. Even if I don't use standard keyword, it is considered what, standard internal table. So if I use the addition with header line, it is considered what, internal table with the default header. Na? If I don't use this addition, it is considered what, internal table without any default header. Now I'll do one small change. I'll say t underscore emp1. I'll declare another internal table t underscore emp2 type table of ty underscore emp. I will say uh, with the key employee number. So both are what, internal tables without header, because I am not using the addition what, with header line. So both are considered as internal tables without any default header. The only difference is, this internal table I am not using any key declaration. For this second internal table, I am declaring some key field. What is the key field I am specifying? Employee number. So we'll focus on this later on. Okay, done. But I declare what, two internal tables without header. So since it is without header, I require a separate work area which will act as a header. So how do I declare the work area? Let me say WA. In most of the projects, we'll start with WA. W underscore EMP. Type what? TY underscore EMP. I am not using table of keywords. So it is understood as what? Work area. This is your work area. This is internal table without what? Default header. Okay, this is also same, internal table without default header, and with what, a key field, with a key field. Okay, done. So how do you fill the internal table? Last class we have seen, we don't have any direct statement to put the data in the body of the internal table. If you are writing the select statement, if you are retrieving the data from the database, yes, data would be retrieved and stored directly in the internal table body. But if you want to fill it manually, what is the only process? We have to assign the data to the header. From header you have to copy it to the body. Okay, so I'll say here, I'll clear the work area before I start using it. Clear w underscore emp. I'll say w underscore emp hyphen, because I cannot say like this. Just observe here. I'll say t underscore emp1 hyphen employee number equal to 6. I'll say. Is it valid? It is invalid because this internal table is not having any default header. When you assign like this, it will try to assign this data in the default header. But this internal table contains only the body. So when I do syntax check, I am getting an error. T underscore emp1 is a table without a header line, and therefore no component called as employee number. So this is ruled out. So since both these internal tables are without header, I took a separate work area. So what is the process of filling? First you fill the data in the work area. From work area you append it to the body of the internal table. So what are the fields? This work area also is created based on what? Same type structure. Internal tables also created based on the same type structure. The fields are same. So employee number equal to, I'll say something 6, w underscore emp hyphen employee name equal to Raju, w underscore emp hyphen employee designation. I'll say manager. So I'm assigning the data to the work area. Okay, from this work area, I'll copy to the body area. I'll say append w underscore emp to what is that internal table? T underscore emp1. T underscore emp1. Okay, done. Save it. Check for the syntax. I don't have any errors. Fine. Let me append some data here. I'll add one more record. Let me add few records. Right. So I'm adding some data here. Some data I've added. Okay. Save it. Check for the syntax, no errors. So when I execute, sorry, I'll not get any output because we are not displaying anything. So what we have done so far, we declared two internal tables without any default header. Since it is without header, I must take a separate structure, separate work area. This work area will act as what? Header. So what is the process of filling the internal table? First you fill the work area. First fill the work area. From work area you append it to the end of the internal table. Append statement will always add the data to the end of the internal table. So I've added some few records. I want to display it. So I'll say data in T underscore emp1. I'll try to display loop at. Can I say like this? Like this? No, I can't say, because if you say like this, it will try to populate each record from body to default header. But this internal table doesn't have any default header, na? So obviously I'll get an error. So when I do syntax check, I'm getting an error. Internal table T underscore emp1 has no header line. One of the additions into work area assigning reference into transporting no fields is required. So this is ruled out. Okay, it will give me syntax error. So what is the adjustment you have done in the last session also? We have populated each record from body to what? Explicit work area into what is the work area name? W underscore emp. So each record will be copied from body to the work area. If it is successfully copied from body to work area, it enters the loop. So it will enter the loop. I'll try to print it. emp hyphen employee number. Okay. emp hyphen employee name. emp hyphen employee designation. Save it. Check for the syntax. No errors. Okay. So when I execute this, yeah, I got the data. Okay, so what is the data I got? Employee number 6, 13, 17, 3 and what? 10. 6, 13, 17, 3 and 10. Means in whatever sequence I've added 6, 13, 17, 3 and what? 10. The same sequence I got. Okay, so what are the points we have to understand so far is, these are what kind of internal tables by default? Standard. Standard internal table can be created either with a key or what? Without key. So first internal table, am I mentioning any key? No, still it is allowing. Second internal table, I am mentioning the key, it is allowing. So what is the understanding is, a standard internal table can be created either with the key or without key. So what is this key? We'll understand by end of today's session. Done. So when I am printing it, I got the data. So what is the data in T underscore emp1? 5 records are there. 5 records are there. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Now what I'll do is 5 records are there. Na? Okay. Now for your understanding, I'll try to count the number of records in the second internal table. Do we have any data in the second internal table at this stage? No, na. Second internal is blank. I have not appended any data. So I'll try to count. I want that count value in my own variable. So I'll declare a variable here, or somewhere at the beginning I'll try to declare. I'll say somewhere here, I'll say data v underscore count type I. I'm declaring all the variables at the beginning, but in Abap I can declare the variables anywhere. So data v underscore count type I. Last class we have seen how to count the number of records. I can use describe statement, or I can use a lines function. So v underscore count equal to lines of, what is the second internal table? T underscore emp2. So lines function will return the count of the number of records in the internal table. At this stage, my internal table is blank. So when I try to print that count value, I'll say number of records in what? T underscore emp2. What is the variable? V underscore count. I should get how much? Zero only, na? Right? I should get zero. So when I execute, yes, I got number of records in T underscore emp2 is what? Zero, because I don't have any data. Now what I'll do is I want to assign the data from T underscore emp1 to T underscore emp2. Last class we have seen multiple ways of copying the data from one internal table to another internal table. So I'll say what? T underscore emp2 equal to T underscore emp1. Both are internal tables without header, na? So it is understood that the data is copied from body of this internal table to body of the second internal table. Okay, done. Let me try to display it. Okay, I'll try to display it. So I'll say data in what? T underscore emp2 after assigning what? T underscore emp1. Okay, I'll try to get different color. Right. What is the internal table? T underscore emp2. This is also an internal table without header, na? So I need to take a separate work area. I can use the same work area for all the internal tables because we are having the same structure, na? Done. So let me execute. So when I execute, yeah, what is the data I got? Data and T underscore emp2 after assigning T underscore, same data I got. So whatever the data is there in what? T underscore emp1, the same data I got in what? T underscore emp2 also. What is the sequence in emp1? 6, 13, 17, 3 and what? 10. Here also same 6, 13, 17, 3 and 10. So same data is copied as it is from source internal table to target internal table. We got confirmed here. Now what I'll do is, observe this carefully. I will use a statement called as sort. Sort T underscore emp1. Okay, sort command is used for sorting the data of the internal table. Sort command is used for arranging the data in an order, arranging the data of an internal table in an order. So here, while sorting this internal table T underscore emp1, we are not telling SAP whether to sort an employee number or employee name or employee designation. I am not providing that information. Simply I'm saying sort T underscore emp1. Okay, let me try to print it. So after sorting, I want to print the data in T underscore emp1. Okay, so somewhere here, yeah. So data in T underscore emp1, data in T underscore emp1 after what? Default sort, after default sort. Okay, so save it. Sorry, I have to loop which internal table? emp1, na? So loop at T underscore emp1. Done. So let's see on which column it is sorted. Yeah, you can see the data of emp1. Okay, let me give a different color just to distinguish. So if you see this data in T underscore EMP1, what is the data I got? 3, 17, 6, 10, and 13. So on which column it has sorted the data? It will sort the data. It will sort the data based on the first character field. So what is the understanding is, whenever we use a sort command like this, I said sort internal table, but I have not informed on which field it has to sort. So what SAP will do is, SAP will check whether this internal table has got any key field. This T underscore EMP1, T underscore EMP1 is not having any key field. Na? I declared this internal table without any key field. So since there is no key field for this internal table, it will try to sort on the first character field of the internal table. It will try to sort on what? First character field of the internal table. How many character fields are there in the internal table? Two character fields. One is employee name and employee designation. What is the first character field? Employee name. So what is the understanding is, whenever we use a sort statement without specifying the sort field, SAP will try to sort the data on the key field if available. If available. If there is no key field, then it will try to sort on first character field. If there are no character fields, it will try to sort on first field of the internal table. So what is the order of the preference? It will try to sort on key field if available. If key field is not specified, it is going to sort on first character field of the internal table. If there are no character fields in the internal table, it will try to sort on first field of the internal table. So in this case, this EMP1 doesn't have any key field, but it has got one first character field is what? Employee name. Na? So it is sorting on what? Employee name, means ASCII values. Capital A will start from 65. Small a, I think, will start from 91. So it is sorting on what? First character field. Okay, this is the data I got. It is sorting on employee name because this is the first character field. Now I'll do a small change. I'll say sort T underscore EMP2. Okay, data in T underscore EMP2 after what? Default sort. Loop at T underscore EMP2 into W underscore EMP. Here also I am not specifying the field name. Na? So what is the default behavior? It is going to sort on key field. Does this T underscore EMP2 has got any key field? Yes, I specified a key field as what? Employee number. So since key field is specific, key field is available, it is going to sort on what? Employee number. Okay, so when I try to execute this, yes, what I got, you can see in T underscore EMP2, it has sorted on the key field, that is employee number 3, 6, 10, 13, and what? 17. So this is the purpose of what? Key field. Understood? Whenever the sort command is used without the sorting field, then SAP will try to sort the data on the key field if available. If there are no key fields, it will try to sort on first character field. If there are no character fields, it will try to sort on the first field of the internal table. So in this case also, in this case, I want to sort an employee designation. So what I'll do here, sort T underscore EMP2, sort T underscore EMP2 by what? Employee designation. Okay, format color 6, data and T underscore EMP2 after, for your understanding, I am giving this after sort on what? EMP desig. So let's see whether it is sorting. So here the preference is given to this field. If there is no sorting field specified, then only it will check for the key field availability. Okay, done. So here it has to sort on what? Employee designation. So when I execute, yeah, I can see here it is sorting on employee designation. Employee. Understood? ASCII values. All employees together, managers together, and then what? Supervisor. Okay. Suppose now here I'll say, here I'll say sort T underscore EMP2 designation, I'll say descending. By default, it will sort in ascending order. I want in descending order. So I have to use addition what? Descending. After sort and EMP desig in what? Descending order. Okay, so when I execute, yeah, scroll down. It is sorting on a descending order of what? Employee designation. First I got S, then M, then M. So this is the purpose of the key field and the employee and the sort command. Any questions so far? Yeah,
Hello,
Jyoti,
sir.
tell me.
When employer designation is same,
Okay.
how it will sort the
It will
how it will
it,
sort the name of the
it,
employee.
it will take the second character. Employee is there. Okay. So here, if you see here, designation is what? Same, na? Okay. Or I'll
Yes, sir.
put it in other way. Okay. Suppose here, uh, for one of the record, I'll put this P in uppercase. P in uppercase. Okay. So let me activate. So both are employees only. But if you see here, yeah, you can see. First I got capital P here, na? Because
Yes.
capital A will start from 65. Then the lowercase ASCII values will start.
Okay.
So preference is given like this. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And here you can see, since I said descending order, first I got lowercase p, then I got the uppercase p. Yeah. Any other doubts? Okay. So the summary of this example so far is, we can declare the standard internal tables either with the key or what? Without key. With the key or without key. So I said with the key employee number here, na? Done. Now what I'll do is here only, I'll do a small change. Instead of saying with the key here, I'll say T underscore EMP2 type table of, I'll say with the unique key, with the unique key employee number. Understood? With the unique key employee number. Let's see whether I'll get any errors. Okay. You can say I got in red color here. Save it. Check for the syntax. I got an error. You can only use unique with table types what? Hashed and what? Sorted. So unique is not supported on what? Standard internal tables. It is supported only on what? Hashed and sorted internal tables. So this is giving me what? Syntax error. So this is what? Syntax error. So standard internal table doesn't support what? Unique key. Now I'll do a small change. Here I'll say T underscore EMP to type table of, I will say what? Non-unique. Non what? Unique. Non-unique. Okay. Done. Save it. Check for the syntax. Am I getting any error? No. So what is the meaning? I can say like this. Am I clear? I can say like this, or even if you don't say, even if you don't say non-unique, it is understood as what? Non-unique. So understanding is, standard internal tables I can declare either with the key or without key. In case if you are declaring with the key, it is always what? Non-unique. Explicitly I can say non-unique, or simply I can say what? Key. Okay, it is understood as what? Non-unique. So non-unique means what? We cannot duplicate values for this field employee number. Suppose here, as of now, I don't have any syntax error, right? Suppose employee number 13 is there. Okay, This record, I'll try to add one more time. Somewhere here, I'll try to add 13. Wantedly, I'll give different employee name. I'll give it as something Manoj and some designation. So what is this here? Already employee number 13 is there. Again, we are trying to add the employee number 13, right? This is what kind of internal table? What is the key field I give? Employee number. Okay. This is what kind of internal table? Standard. Standard supports only non-unique. Non-unique means duplicate values are allowed. So as of now, I'm adding duplicate values. It should allow. No errors. When I execute, yeah, I can see that 13 got added twice. Understood? So it is allowing the duplicate values. Okay, so Jyoti, you asked this now. If the same data is there, suppose 13 is there twice, which one it
Yes.
will consider? Which one it will consider first means? Which or record you appended first? Which record I appended? Vamshi, na? So I got Vamshi
Yes.
first. Then, okay,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, sir. Thank you.
right. So summary is standard internal tables can be created either with a key or without key. If you are declaring with a key, only non-unique is supported. If I try to say unique, it will give what? Error. Okay, we can say either non-unique or simply say if you key also, it is understood as what non-unique. Non-unique means which can have what? Duplicate values. Right. Okay, so this is the data in my internal table. So let us focus on this one now. T underscore emp2 has got how many records? Some six records. Six records. So this is the current data. Now let me try to add one more record. What I'll do is I'll try to add the one more record in the second internal table or first internal, doesn't matter. I'll try to add it in the second internal table somewhere here. Observe this carefully. I'll add the employee number as something 7, employee name, some designation. Now, so far what we know is to add the data to the internal table, what is the statement we are using? Append. So instead of using append, I'll say insert. Insert w underscore emp into table t underscore emp2. I want to add it in the second internal table. So what is the change I have done? Instead of using append, I have used what? Insert. Okay. Let's see whether it is added or not. And I want to check where it is added. Okay, I want to check where it is added. Let me reprint it. So see, I'll not sort it again. Format color 1. Data in what? T underscore emp2 after using what? Insert. Right? I told you that append statement will always add the data to what? End of the internal table. Now instead of using append, I'm using what? Insert. Let's see where it will add. What is the employee number I'm trying to add? 7. So keep that in mind. So when I execute, yeah, see the last section. Yeah, you can see here. Where that 7 got added? At the last only, na? I added employee number 7 in T underscore emp2. Where it is added? At the last position. So at this stage, what I can say, insert and append both are behaving same. Na? Insert also is adding the record where? At the end of the internal table. Now I'll say, okay, I'll try to add some employee number like 12. Okay, I'll give some employee name. Now I'll say insert w underscore emp into t underscore emp2. I'll say index 2. Okay, I'm instructing SAP to add this record at which position? Second position. So let's see whether it is supported or not. Okay, if you reprint only, you'll understand. Okay, so I'll data and format color to data and t underscore emp2 after using insert on what? Index position 2. Okay, let's see that. So when I execute, no errors. See the last section. Yeah, if you observe the last section, where the 12 got added in the second position, already I told you the index of the internal table starts from what? 1. So in the second position, that record 12 funny and employee got added. So what is the overall understanding is, on standard internal tables, I can use both append as well as what insert. Both are supported. Append will always add the data to what? End of the internal table. Whereas insert can be used either to add the record at the end of the internal table or in a specific position of the internal table. I cannot use this index addition with append. It will give error. I cannot use additions wherever I want. If the syntax is supported only, we can use. Otherwise, it will give what? Error. So index is supported only for insert, not for what? Append. Append means always points to where? End of the internal table. Yeah. Any questions so far? Okay, so this is the data I'm having. This is the current data. Let us focus on this T underscore EMP2 only. Okay, now what is the behavior of the loop and loop? It will iterate the records. Okay, I think last class we have seen we can use loop with the where condition also. Okay, now what I want is from the second internal table, this is T underscore EMP2, I want to read a specific record. So whenever you want to read a specific record from the internal table, we can use read statement. Okay, whenever you want to read specific record from the internal table, we can use what? Read statement. So what this read statement will do, it always reads a single record. It always reads a single record, and whatever the record it has read from the body, it will populate that record to the work area. Okay, so what I'll do now, here I'll say I want to read which record? Third record. Na? So I'll clear the work area before I reuse. I'll say read table. What is the internal table? T underscore EMP2 into W underscore EMP. Okay, I'm trying to read the data from the internal table. Here I'll say index what? 3. Whichever record you want to read, that position you have to specify. So I said index as what? 3. Okay, so what this read statement will do, it always reads a single record. And if the read is successful, it will set the size sub RC system field to what? 0. We have a system field called as size sub RC. As of now, I am going to use this size sub RC only for the read statement. But later on, I'll use that size sub RC for other statements also. So size sub RC is a system field which will store the execution status of the Abap statement. If the Abap statement is successfully executed, size sub RC will be 0. Okay, if the Abap statement execution is failed, size sub RC is what? 4. So what I'll do immediately after the read statement, I'll say if size sub RC is equal to 0, means if the read is successful, okay, if the read statement is successful, what is the meaning? Record is successfully read into the work area. So I'll just give a message here, write record found. Okay, write record found. I'll try to print the data from the work area, W underscore EMP hyphen employee number. I'll print all the fields, employee name and employee designation. Okay, else I'll say no data. No data and F. Okay, I'll give some color here. Okay, so I'm reading which record? Third record. So when I execute, yeah, focus on the last section. What is that I got? Record found. What is the record number? What is the employee number? 13, Manoj and supervisor. That's what the third record na? 13, Manoj and what? Supervisor. Is it clear? Suppose I'll say index something 13, index 13. Do we have any employee number whose position is 13? No, I'm having around 7 to 8 records only. So what happens? This read will fail. If the read is failed, it will set the size of RC value to what? 4. Means control goes to else part. If this if condition is not satisfied, when it will satisfy this, or if the read is successful, then only size of RC will be 0. Otherwise what? 4. So when I execute this, what happened here? I got the message what? No data. Am I clear? So how do you check the status of the read statement? Means by using that size of RC. Okay, size of RC will be 0 if the previous statement is successfully executed. If the previous statement execution is failed, size of RC will be what? 4. Okay. Yeah. Any questions so far? Now what I want is, I want to read fifth record. I want to read the fifth record, but I am not interested in the complete record. From the fifth record, I want only employee number and what? Employee name. I don't want to read employee designation. Understood? Whenever I'm searching for any record, every time we may not be interested in the complete record data. Na? Okay, so in this case also, each record contains 3 fields. Out of 3 fields, I want only what? 2 fields. What are they? Employee number and what? Employee name. What is the default behavior of the read statement? It will read the old record, and the old record is transferred to what? Work area. But now assume that if my record contains 20 fields like employee number, employee name, department number, department name, department location, okay, house number, street, city, blah 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 kind of thing, around 20 fields. I'm not interested in all the 20 fields. I am interested only in few fields. So what I'll do now, observe this carefully. Read table T underscore emp2 into W underscore, which record you want? Fifth record, huh? Index 5. If I leave it like this, it will read the old record. I don't want that. Okay. I want to transport only employee number and employee name from body to header. So I'll say transporting employee number and what? Employee name. Okay, we are telling SAP to transport only employee number and employee name from body to what? Work area. Okay, which is acting as header. But wantedly, even though I'm transferring only employee number and employee name, wantedly I'm printing designation also. But what is the expectation for designation space? Na? Because designation is the character field. Since I'm not transporting the designation from body to header, even if I print designation, I should get space only. Let's see that. Okay, activate and execute. Scroll down. Yeah, what I got here, see, I got 17. Is it correct? Fifth record, 17, Praveen, and what is the designation manager? But what I got here, space, because we are not transporting the data. Okay, so if you're not interested in the complete record, we have to use a transporting addition and specify that fields. If you are interested in the whole record, don't use transporting. Acha, you'll have one issue here. So since I am not transporting the designation, when I'm printing designation, I'm getting space. But assume that I forgot to clear. Observe this carefully. Without clearing the work area, I am using that work area in the read statement. But previous to this, this work area contains employee number, employee name, employee designation of which record? Third record. Which record? Third record. Now without clearing, I'm using it here. So what happens here? Even though if you don't clear, no problem. The new employee number will be overwritten with what? Sorry, the old employee number will be overwritten with what? New employee number. The old employee name will be overwritten with a new employee name. But we are not reading the designation. So the old designation will be as it is, right? So I'm trying to refer to the designation in the right statement. So when I execute, scroll down and check. So if you see here at the end, what I got, 17 Praveen and supervisor. Actually, what is the designation of 17? Manager. But from where I got this supervisor? In the previous usage of my work area, designation was there. Na? I have not cleared that particular work area. So since I have not cleared, what happened? The old designation is as it is. Is it clear? That is the reason it is always recommended to avoid this kind of issues. It is always recommended to clear and reuse any variables. Otherwise, you'll have this kind of issues. So that is the purpose of what transporting addition in the read statement. Any questions, please? In this case, we are using the read statement based on the position. If you have lakhs of records, can we know the position? No. So what is my requirement now? Suppose this is my data. This is my data and EMP2, the last block. Yeah, this is the data. So in this, what I want is, I want a record whose employee number is something, 13. I want a record whose employee number is 13. How many 13s are there? Two 13s. But read will always read what? Only one record. So whichever record first satisfies the condition, that record will be read. So now what I want to search for a record based on a condition. What is the condition? Employee number is what? 13. Earlier we are searching based on position. Now I'll say simple change. I copied. So format color I'll say 5. Read table so and so into W underscore EMP. Here you have to say with key employee number equal to 13. Employee number equal to 13. Even though two records satisfies that condition, read statement will always read the first record whichever is satisfying the condition. So when I execute this, so if you check at the bottom, I'll get the data related to what? Employee number what? 13. What I got? 13 Manoj and what? Supervisor. Am I clear? So I can use the read statement based on what? Index, based on a condition. So here the default, this kind of search where I'm searching based on index, this is called as indexed search. This is called as indexed search. Here I'm searching based on a condition. This we call it as linear search. It is called as linear search or sequential search. What is the meaning of this linear search? It will start searching from top to bottom. It will start searching from top to bottom. Okay. So it will check the first record. If the first record doesn't satisfy, it checks the second record. Like that, it will check the records one by one till one of the conditions is satisfied. Now what I'll do, instead of using linear search, I will say same thing, almost same. What I'll do here, I will use a addition called as binary search as part of the read statement. I will use what? Binary search. What is the concept of binary search is? Linear search means it starts searching from top to bottom. Binary search means it will keep the cursor in the middle position, middle of the internal table. From the middle, it will decide whether to search in upward direction or in what? Downward direction. Means we are minimizing the search process. The performance of the read is improved. But the prerequisites for binary search is the data should be in sorted order based on the search field. I am searching an employee number na? So we have to, what you have to do, you have to sort your internal table based on the search field. So here I'll say sort what? T underscore emp2 by what? Employee number. Without using sort, if I use read with binary search, you will not get any error. You will not get any error, but it will not have any effect. Since the data is not in sorted order, Again, it will search in what linear order from the top to bottom. So the prerequisite for using binary search in the read statement is what? The data should be in what? Sorted order based on the search field. So if you sort it here, what happens now? The data would be sorted in the employee number. Internally it will sort it. Now the cursor will be there at what? Middle. So from the middle position it will decide whether it has to search in upward direction or in the downward direction. So we are improving the performance of what? Read statement. So I'll get the same output, but if you have huge amount of data, the time taken to search for a record will be minimized. The performance of the read statement will be increased. So in both the cases, I'll get the same record, same data, but the advantage you will get it only when you have huge amount of data. So what is the prerequisite for binary search? The data should be in sorted order based on what? Search field. Okay, if I don't use binary search, it is understood as what? Linear search. It will start searching from top to bottom. 1 second, please. 1 second. Yeah, it is something like this here. So this is a difference between linear search and binary search. Linear search means top to bottom. Binary search means what? What is the prerequisite? The data should be in what? Sorted order. Okay, so assume if you see this as a sorted data, what is the middle record here? Assume 13. If you are searching for 5, for employee number 5, 5 is less than 13, so it will search in upward direction. Suppose if I am searching for a record with a 27 as employee number, 27 is greater than 13, so it will search in the downward direction. So we are minimizing the search process in case of what? Binary search. So how do we increase the performance of the read statement? Means by using what? Binary search. And another way is what? If you are not interested in all the fields, you transport only the specific fields that you want to read. Okay, another way is, suppose here only I'll say, yeah, here only. Okay, this is the data available here. This is the data available. I want to check whether I'm having any employee number with 6. Just I want to check whether I'm having any employee number with a 6. I'm not interested in reading that data. I just want to check the existence. So what I'll do here, observe this. Okay, so here read table t underscore emp2 with the keyword employee number equal to 6. I will say transporting no fields. Transporting no fields. So what this transporting no fields will do, it will check whether the record is available or not. If the record is available, size of RC will be set to 0. If the record is not available, size of RC will be set to what? 4. So if you're not reading the record, we should not specify the work area, na? But still I am specifying the work area. So when I do syntax check, I got a warning in the 199th line. In 199th line, I got a warning. Transporting no fields will not fill the output area, nothing but work area. This addition does not make sense here. So it is saying that you don't want to transport any data from body to header. But again, why we are specifying work area? That is what they are. Am I clear? So, right. So this is give me what? Warning. It's not error, warning. So how to avoid that warning? Anyway, I don't require. So I'll remove this into addition now. So when do we go for transporting no fields? Just if you want to check the existence of the data, whether it is available or not, I want to check. So at that time, we can use this transporting no fields. So when I execute, so if you scroll down, I'll get the message what? Record found at the last. The record is found. So this is how we'll improve the performance of the read statement. If you're not interested in the data, if you want to check only the existence, we can use this transporting no fields. And what is the purpose of sizeabrc? If the read is successfully executed, sizeabrc system field will be set to 0. Otherwise, sizeabrc will be set to what? 4. Yeah, any questions? Right, so today we have seen standard internal table with key and without key. We understood about the sort statement. We understood that the difference between append and insert, and we understood how to read a specific record by using what? Read statement. We have few more statements that we'll discuss tomorrow. So I'm done for today's session. Any queries, please? Chalo then. So thank you everyone. We'll continue tomorrow.